Minasan, konnichiwa. Nico here from the Road to Japan podcast and Working Title on YouTube. So, this is a video that's going to cover, I guess you could call, phase 2 of the Erasing My Past series that's going on. The reason I'm calling it phase 2 is because now I have had my second treatment, and it was actually done to the two dragons here on my arm. So this is what is this? Just over 24 hours since the treatment happened. There's not really a whole lot to report that's different than what happened with the other tattoos. This is the red dragon here. And I'll say definitely that the pain itself was pretty much the same intensity here. I'm actually gonna move the camera here because I don't really think you need to see much else as far as the tattoos go. I mean, it's essentially the same. Sorry, I'm gonna move the camera some more here. Forgive my appearance. I've been doing some house cleaning, yeah, I'm a little messy right now. But yeah, I had the work done on these dragons here, and I mean, progress is still happening with the other tattoos. Some are definitely fading a lot more. I also had work done on the tattoos I have on my neck and my I guess lower neck, upper back, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, seriously, the pain was relatively the same, which is kind of surprising given that when I originally had the tattoo done, the pain varied depending on where it was located. So like the dragons here probably were less painful to get for the tattoos as opposed to the ones on my wrist and lower forearm here. And I'd say probably the most intense tattoo I got was the one right here, because it is, it's on my back. It's, part of the tattoo is directly, on my spinal column. So yeah, it was definitely painful. But as I said, the pain was kind of equal, amongst all areas here. So that's interesting. But as I mentioned before, the pain, because people ask me how painful it is, and how long the pain lasts. And honestly, the pain, while I word it as moderately intense, I mean, it's painful. It is painful. I'm not gonna lie. There are even moments like when it hits a certain spot that you kind of have that reflex, I guess, where you're like, nah, because it just kind of hurts in that spot. But for me personally, every time something like that happens, I just tell myself, this is for my future. This is for my future, because in addition to asking about pain, people are asking, why I'm getting it done, because obviously something like tattoo removal, there's got to be a pretty damn good reason, because A, it's a time-consuming process, and B, it's an expensive process. Much more expensive than getting the tattoo. So, pro tip, if you're considering tattoos, do make sure you are good and settled in your life and you like where it is. Because if I had even known that Japan could and would be in my future, I wouldn't have gotten tattoos. I would have been able to reason myself out of needing to express myself, or whatever other reasons people get tattoos for. But unfortunately, I did not start researching anything having to do with living in Japan until after I had most of my tattoos already done. And I mean, at the time, there was no removal process. You know, these lasers that now can do this work didn't exist yet. So part of that led to me essentially feeling the way I have for the last 10 years, where I was like, well, you know, this is it. My life is going to be as a machinist and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, the rest is history. But now that there are opportunities for me to make the best of, you know, the Japan experience and going forward, you know, because again, I don't know whether I will stay in Japan or not, but regardless, either way, the plan is eventually going to be to teach in a college classroom. That's my ultimate goal. That's what I want to retire doing. And I mean, have you seen a college professor with tattoos on their arms? I haven't. So, you know, while I don't necessarily agree with the way that society still views tattoos, it's just something I'm gonna have to deal with. And, you know, maybe the views will change on tattoos in, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 years, but you know, I'm not gonna obviously wait for that to happen. So like I said, you know, there are opportunities for me to, you know, make things like getting my tattoos removed happen, so I'm gonna do it. And I suppose I got lucky with the clinic that I'm going to, because I was fully expecting them to charge me a lot more than I had originally anticipated yesterday when I got the rest of the tattoos worked on, just because they actually didn't see the ones on my back and neck yet. So I didn't know how much more they were going to add to it. Thankfully, though, as I mentioned, these ones on the wrist and forearm were $300 for the treatment for all four. And lucky for me, you know, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I'm doing this in bulk, you know, doing multiple tattoos at once or whatever. But they charged me $375 for both of the dragons and the two on my back here, which I think is a bargain. Because, you know, if we're just going by size and whatnot, they probably could have easily doubled that and made that the price. But fortunately, you know, they made it $375. So, you know, that pretty much means that in total, every treatment for all the tattoos is going to be $675. Now it's just a matter of knowing how many treatments I'm going to need. She originally quoted me at 8 to 10, so you know, this could end up costing me somewhere in the realm of $7,000. And yeah, that's a daunting number, especially to someone who's also trying to go through college right now. You know, if I wasn't in school and I was just working, making the money that I do at my job, then this would be, you know, it still kind of put a little strain on the wallet, but it'd still be manageable. I could still do it, and still be able to, you know, do my other expenses and whatnot. But with the fact that I have tuition, I'm switching over to university in the following semester. You know, I've got other tests to take, there's books and other fees and all this stuff. You know, it's gonna be challenging. But as I've been saying this whole time, I'm not gonna let anything get in the way of my goals. And my goal is to live and work in Japan without having to hopefully deal with any sort of discrimination, at least based on, you know, my tattoos. Because I just want them gone at this point. You know, I mean, yes, I wish I could keep them, because there is, you know, you may not think so, but there is meaning behind these, as is usually the case with a lot of tattoos. But my success and my future is just more important. I mean, that's just That's the bottom line. Sorry for going a little long-winded on that. I wasn't planning on this being a 10-minute video. There'll be obviously, videos following. I'll probably do one in a week or two as these are healing, and to obviously show the progression of these, because it's going to be roughly another 4 weeks before I get the second treatment for the ones on my wrist and lower forearm. And that's partially because they need to fully heal, which I wouldn't say they're fully healed yet, but they're getting there. I can pretty much do most of my regular activities and not have it come to mind that they're still healing. Obviously, the dragons and the ones on my back and neck are, still really fresh, so I do have to be careful. Surprisingly, though, I'm not as. I think these ones on the wrist hinder me a lot more, just as far as what I can do. Whereas the other ones, I guess, are in spots where it's not really noticeable. I kind of sleep on my side more, so I'm not sleeping directly on them. But aside from that, it's just being cautious. And I'm not particularly worried about bandages, because now that I've had the experience with these, I kind of know what to expect. I may still wear bandages for a week, at least at work, just to keep them covered and protected, because the last thing I need is for them to get infected. And you'd be surprised at how much bacteria lingers around our machines, our tools. The coolant itself is just, it's gross. It's completely, totally nasty. I'm pretty sure that I get sick sometimes because, the coolant, gets absorbed in my skin. It'll fly in my mouth. I mean, it's disgusting. One of the many reasons I want to get out of this career. But anyway, I think I'll call it good there. So keep an eye on either theroadtojapan.com, or if you subscribe on YouTube, this should pop up in your subscriptions, as well as following videos, talking about the progress. And depending on when you see this, I am planning on recording the next episode later today, so keep an eye out for Session 4, Episode 3. But until then, I'll catch you guys next time. Minasan, Gambate.